Here's a walkthrough of Kingdom Hearts Dearly Beloved. Okay. This one's not too hard, aside from some dank stretches on the left hand. Again, fingerings are in the tab, so I'm not going to go over those. I'm just going to go through this slowly. So, the first thing that happens is this, right? It's this weird old chord. I find it easiest to put this part of it on first, and then rotate your hand out this way, and then slap that pinky on, okay? So my elbow is fairly far away from my body. Okay, not this way, but like this, okay? Then you gotta transfer that pinky down, and try, when you take the ring finger off here, to not make it squeak too much. Annie, dude, you better... Oh my god. Sorry, my cat. Okay, now here's a tricky technique if you haven't done it ever. So, what's happening is, with the thumb and the middle finger on the right hand, I'm plucking these two strings. And then up here, I'm plucking what is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, the 19th fret with an artificial harmonic, okay? So you probably want to work on these two moves separately. So just work on the artificial harmonic. Then maybe you can add the bass note, the thumb, and then the real tricky part is adding the middle finger to get that inner note. Okay, this is some tricky stuff. If you haven't done it, it's tricky. If you have done it, it's not too bad. Then you're walking down with artificial harmonics. Then you have another 3-note chord with a harmonic on top. Same deal, right? Thumb, middle finger, and an artificial harmonic on top. To get the artificial harmonic to ring out a little bit louder than the rest of the chord, all you really have to do is put more pressure on the ring finger when you're winding up to release the string. What I mean is, that's your wind up, right? When you put pressure, okay? If you put a little bit more pressure on that finger, it'll actually ring out louder. Now, keep the bass on for a second. At least until there. At least until you get to the index finger there. Now, what I was doing I had a hard time actually getting this harmonic to ring out louder than the other notes. So I would actually kind of dip the volume down there. So it's dipping down, and then you play a full volume harmonic, and that should be around the same volume as the note you played before. That's pretty self-explanatory. Now, and for here, what I'm doing, just so you know, on the right hand, I'm just feathering all the way through with all my fingers. And for here, I'm starting with the thumb and then transferring another to the thumb on the A string. And then doing a full feather through. Okay. Now we're to the main part. Annie, you stop that shit. Sorry. I'm doing all the bass notes with my thumb, and then you can use whatever you want on top here. I'm using my A finger on the 6th string, the 1st string, middle finger on the 5th, and then usually my index finger on the 4th. For the most part, but you know, I break that rule a lot. Like right there, I'm using an index finger. As long as you can make this smooth, I don't think it really matters too much what fingers you're using, honestly. Annie, stop it, dude. Now, when you come off this bar chord, the first bar chord, it's okay to let this go a little bit early, as long as you keep the pinky ringing out. As long as one note is ringing out, and it needs to be the melody, honestly. That's the most important note to ring out. So, see, I keep the pinky on. I took it off a little bit sooner than I would normally. Okay, now we're here. Oops, sorry. Now, make sure you get this note with 3 and slide it all the way up to 14. And you want to actually, you don't want to get that, but you want to keep the finger at least on the string. It'll make it a lot easier to be accurate, okay? Because then you don't have to search for a string. All you're searching for is a fret. All the same. Keep the melody ringing out. Now this is a really, really hard hammer-on pull-off. It's about as hard as it gets, honestly. Because what you're doing is you have a bar here, and then you have your third finger up here, and then you're trying to do a trill with your pinky finger. It's really freaking hard, okay? When I was recording this, it took me a lot to get a good one. Really just a matter of luck sometimes. Now, when you're working on really hard stuff like that, take note. I want you to try different things out. So what I noticed for myself is if I try to take my pinky and actually not get a hammer on right on the string, but almost try to go above the string in this direction, and then swipe it down like I'm grabbing the top end of the string versus like right on it. The difference between here and here. Try to grab right there. When I would try to overshoot it, it would help. So just something that I noticed, and you can do that yourself. Try focusing more on the pull-off. Try focusing more on the hammer-on. See what works better for you. A lot of times with trills, it helps me to focus on the hammer-on, because usually the pull-off is fine if I get the hammer-on. Now from here, I want you to load your middle finger up on the G string, not pushing it down on the fret, but keeping it on the string at least, or you actually could press the note down. Yeah, you could actually push this note down, okay? I'm actually pushing down on the 10th fret, but I'm not playing it. The reason is so that I can grab this really easily. I can just slide it right down and I'm on it, right? I'm already loaded. Now, important, you want to do a hinge bar right here. And I think there was another spot in this tune where I did play a hinge bar and I forgot to mention it. Let me go back for a second, make sure. Right here, hinge bar. So you can grab that. Now, basically, the whole song repeats itself, except now we're adding these inner voices. That's the only difference here. So the first one is this. You're gonna play with the index or the middle finger. Now we have this. So now these inner voices here, I'm just doing with the thumb, okay? Now this chord I really like that one, so I arpeggiate that one and play it a little bit louder than everything else. It's kind of a moment, right? Now you're gonna want a bar here. Now that's a little move to work on. The trill and getting the inner line to go. Now when you get up here, you're gonna be using your index or your middle finger there. You can just slide the middle finger down to grab that, okay? So you see, whenever I can, I'm using these tracer fingers because it helps you basically be more accurate. Now for here, now I don't care how you get to your pinky here, but I want you to get to your pinky here for this chord, which leads into this, okay? So again, what I mean is, you could use your index finger here. Okay, I'm talking about the top line, the top melodic line. Index finger again. You could switch to pinky there while the note's being held down. Or you can switch to pinky there at the end, okay? Or you can play this note with the third finger, this one with the fourth. Whatever is easiest for you, because when you get to here, now this is very important here, okay? So I'm doing a hinge bar, but I'm also using my third finger here to grab this because I want the third to slide up the second finger to go down, the pinky to go down, and to grab this bar, okay? So it's the same as the last time we played this chord, but now we're adding another melodic note, or another accompaniment note, being this one, okay? So you got 2 7s down now. Well, actually 3. Now the only difference between this chord and the last one you did, adding this one, okay? Which is just on your bar. Now here, what I'm usually doing here, I play this, then while it's ringing out, I'm actually switching to my third finger here to get ready to slide up and play this chord, which I'm playing with the third and fourth fingers. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Grabbing with 3, sliding the whole thing up, okay? Now, just like before, except I'm adding this note right here. And what I do actually is I replace this one with the pinky here, so I can grab this chord now with 3 and 2, okay? Otherwise, you kind of SOL, man. Tracer finger again. This time you don't need a hinge bar because you're not playing a bar afterwards. You're going back into the first chord, okay? And then this time you're doing the melodic note first, and then you really gotta kind of stretch your hand in a weird way to get these notes. It's very strange. It might actually help you to not play this note on the tip like you normally would, because that makes it a little bit harder to stretch down and get this chord. So basically build this chord first, right? So I got these notes, and then my pinky will come up like this. This is actually the most comfortable position for me to play this chord in. So then look at what my pinky is doing. If this is where I ultimately want to be, and the pinky is the first note I have to play, it doesn't make sense to play the pinky like this. It makes sense to play the pinky more like that, okay? Because that's going to allow you to grab this chord easier. So, see that? See how I'm grabbing it? Then we do the walk down, artificial harmonics again. And that's it. Wish they were all this easy, bros. Thanks for watching this walkthrough. Play on, bitch. Make it good. Learn it. Bye.